Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Powell Simbulan with NSL Aerospace, and today on the MARPA podcast, I'm being joined by PMA extraordinaire.
I'm Jeremy Hahn. I was with Jet Parts Engineering for 15 years, so I've been PMA for a while. I was on the MARPA board for a few years and also a presenter at many conferences for them as well.
Yep, we have a great episode for you today, so stay tuned. So, Jeremy, let's start with kind of your history and what brought you into aerospace. I mean, start us from birth.
Yeah, so I, out of school, was really interested in engineering, and aerospace is just such a unique level of engineering. I mean, it's a flying city, as they say, right? And there's so much complexity that goes on with aerospace. It's just a really interesting field to get into. And so I had the opportunity to come out of school and start working for Boeing right away, which was really interesting, obviously. Entire jet making, and that I went up to the facility up in Everett out of school. That was my first job. I was there for 5 years. I learned a ton, worked with some really great engineers, really great products developed there. And about 5 years in, was looking to do something a little bit different and started looking in the open job market, wanted to stay aerospace, and found a PMA company called Jet Parts Engineering and jumped over to them and was there for 15 years. I've had a wonderful time in PMA ever since. And so aerospace is a huge industry, lots of different nooks and crannies, and PMA is just one of those, and it's been a great time working in PMA.
So let's lean on that. First, Jeremy, can you give us your definition of what a PMA is? And then second question to that would be, where were you when you first found out about PMAs?
Yeah, I didn't know about PMA until I found this company that was looking for engineers. And I think that's where a lot of us are. I think outside of PMA, it's a pretty lightly understood area of aerospace. And so I didn't have any understanding of it working at Boeing. And then I found this company. I've learned about it ever since. But you know, PMA at the end of the day is just an alternate approval part, right? You know, you have the OEM, which is the original development design. When I was at Boeing, it was all OEM. We were building it from scratch, the original design. PMA opens up a new and alternative path for parts, and those have to be approved too. And so it's just an alternative part that it is now allowed to be on the airplane. I had someone at the FAA actually tell me that basically when you're building an OEM, that when you're building a PMA, you are effectively becoming an OEM. You are effectively becoming the second source for design. And again, at the end of the day, that is just like an OEM. It is approved by the FAA. It is used in the same way, sometimes better, often better, but it is now a new approved design, similar to the original. So it's basically OEM number 2.
Yeah. So no, I've never heard of it being put that way before, but absolutely, I think that is exactly what it is, right? Because essentially, you know, some folks just say it's a copy or whatever, but ultimately, I mean, the amount of quality that you have to do and rigmarole in order to become a full-blown PMA company is huge. I mean, can you talk about what you have to be even more in order to be a PMA company?
Yeah, one of the things that often comes up in the PMA world is that we have to understand our parts to the component level, whereas the OEM is often at the assembly level. And so to understand our parts down to single dimensions on design, as opposed to just understanding the function of the overall line replaceable unit or whatever it might be. That is a unique level of understanding we have to dig into and explain. It's not to say that the OEMs don't understand their product to that level, but they certainly don't have to explain it to that level to the FAA, but we do. And so we have to put that all on paper and be able to stand up against it. So test and comp PMA in particular, that's where you dig into it. That's where it's a standalone design. Again, back to the OEM number 2 point. It is a design that is independent at the end of the day from the OEM. Some of the stuff is built off of it, but it has to stand by itself.
Yeah. So Jeremy, from your perspective, can you walk us through your view of the history of PMA, just from the experience that you've had from your career?
Yeah.
right? So where was PMA in the beginning when you first started, and where is it now?
Yeah, 15 years ago is when I started, and it was unknown, even lesser known area. It's still relatively unknown outside of those that are actively in it, but it was even less known 15 years ago. And it's been interesting. The shocks to the industry in the manufacturing world are really what has driven PMA even further. It's kind of a little bit counterintuitive. All of these negative things that happened in the industry have been ultimately positives for PMA.
Yeah.
They've really helped accelerate the interest level and the acceptability and the PMA companies themselves. Mm-hmm. And so things like 9/11, big shock to the aerospace industry. It's negative in a lot of ways, certainly to the world at large, but in aerospace as well. And then on the other side of it though, PMA was able to provide cost savings when they were needed. And then a lot of the manufacturing issues that have come up post-COVID, where you're well aware of, the strains on those manufacturing lines and ramping them down and then ramping back up. There's been a gap that has been filled by PMA, and it's been really needed, and it's been timely for the aerospace companies, for a PMA company to step in and provide a solution, to provide an answer to these things. So these shocks, these industries, these downturns, these struggles often end up being positive for PMA just because they expose what can be accessed. I think when things are going well, you don't look for alternatives.
Yeah.
You just keep on marching forward, right? And that happens in a lot of areas of our lives. But when things start becoming a little more difficult, you don't look for solutions unless you have a problem. And a lot of times, and there's lots of problems to be solved in aerospace, and this is just one of them. And so solving that problem now, PMA provides a really solid solution for that.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit more about, where MARPA, the Modification and Replacement Parts Association, plugs into that, and kind of the role that you played in your tenure with MARPA. So how has that been effective in getting the ball moved down the field when it comes to the understanding and acceptance of PMA?
Yeah, MARPA's been key. It's been a linchpin, it's been a cornerstone for the PMA development. When I started 15 years ago, there was kind of MARPA, and there was another conference that those that have been around for a while might remember, was called GORM. And these two were kind of, in my early years, my understanding, were kind of a competing interest in developing and helping support the PMA world. And GORM eventually dissolved, and MARPA stepped into that space even stronger and has only grown since. So throughout my 15 years, I've seen kind of this development and this strong leadership from the MARPA group, and really the support. It's the MARPA, the key MARPA individuals that we all know, the board, Jason and Kat and Clara and so forth. But it's also been certainly all the companies supporting that, right? And it's a collective, it is a unified front, it is a way to rally, and it's really helped develop the industry in key ways.
Yeah.
MARPA has been essential in that process.
Yeah, I think, to add to what you're saying, in the sense that the great thing about MARPA is it's all of these kind of companies, whether competitor or not, all acting as a unit in order to progress the PMA industry, right? And a big part of that is the MARPA board, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's a congregation of how many, maybe 5 to 10 different PMA companies. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your tenure on the MARPA board, and what it does, and where do you think it's going to go? Yeah,
you hit it on the head there. We are competitors at some level, but the thing that I loved about MARPA is it's a complete unifier. We're all working towards the same thing. We're all rowing in the same general direction. Yeah, we compete on a specific part or a specific product here or there, but we collaborate. We want to get better. I had so many great conversations with different folks in the industry across my years there, that were really just about being productive, about finding solutions, about moving our entire industry forward, not our specific companies, and not at the, there's PMA is not at the point where one company has to succeed at the cost of another company, we can all succeed together. There's so much growth that's to be had. And I think a lot of people see that. And those that don't, I think, are missing the key point there. But I think for the large part, everybody's rowing in the same direction again. And when it comes to the board, you're bringing specific, knowledgeable folks from companies in PMA that bring different perspectives. They're working with different FAA groups. They're working with different customers. They're working with different parts of the airplane, and they're often seeing different things because of that. And so it's a time to come together and talk about what they're seeing from their company, from their exposures, to rally around that, to figure out ways to navigate it. It's also a governmental, working with the FAA, working with the government, DC and so forth. There's an awareness that MARPA brings to PMA companies that otherwise is really hard to see.
Yeah,
we're laser focused on what we're doing, engineering the next product, selling the next product, working with their customer, and sometimes it can get lost what's happening at the higher level, which is the DC, the policy, the FAA, some of that stuff. It's a lot of the PMA companies don't have enough resources to have specific full-time individuals dedicated to that, and MARPA brings that.
Yeah.
So that collaboration, that awareness of the government policy level support is really key, and has been for years, and only will be more going forward as things continue to change and as PMA develops. It's key.
Yep. I think the FAA, for a lot of folks that are not in commercial aviation like Jeremy and I are, the FAA is tremendous in doing so many different things, and they are just so swamped with safety, and both from commercial and general aviation, right? That we do need an advocate, and we do need a group like MARPA and the MARPA board in order to kind of stay with FAA, hand-holding them through everything that we're doing around safety and quality, because they just have so many priorities, and so that's why it's such a huge importance for the MARPA board and the MARPA organization to exist. So anyways, yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to add to that?
No, I agree. Everything you said, I agree with. The FAA, honestly, in the industry, it's a government agency. It's easy to be negative about what they're doing. Oh, they're slow, or they're cumbersome in their rulemaking, or they're doing something that's negatively affecting our industry. The reality is, working with them, they're doing their job like we are ours, and they have a role to do in public safety, among other things. And I've only found that working in trying to row with them in the similar direction, just like with MARPA and other companies, that's when the work gets done, and avoiding the negativity around it. Because they are honestly really sharp people.
Sure.
They often have been in the industry for a very long time. And those that haven't are learning it, and they are very open to that process. And they're sharp young engineers, and they're sharp older engineers. And we're all trying to do our job, and they have a very important job. And I think the more we understand that and work with them, and continue that positive attitude towards that work and developing and pushing it forward, I think we all win again.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of it is very necessary. Even the slower pace that people kind of generally talk about, I think it's, I mean, there's a give and take there. I think it's very necessary, because you have to, dot your I's and cross your T's and cover all the bases in order to maintain equality and safety. You touched on, let's end the podcast on this. You touched a little bit on the older engineers and the younger engineers. I mean, you're a very inspiring, individual in the aerospace engineering community. What would you say to those looking to go into aerospace engineering, and how, what advice would you give up and comers that are just coming out of college?
Yeah. Aerospace, like I said earlier, is such a fun industry. It really is. And PMA is, like I said, a nook or a sliver of that. Aerospace in general, so much engineering knowledge required and needed. Also so much history there. Commercial aerospace in general is a very safe industry, has to be very safe. And so it's a little more slow moving, but that's also so much built on the shoulders of the individuals before us, the engineers before us, and that growth. And so the best advice I can give to someone that's new, is aspiring to be an aerospace engineer interested, is to find a great support system, an intellectual support system, someone that knows their stuff, that's been around, because aerospace, commercial aerospace, again, it's more difficult to be very nimble like a tech industry because of the safety requirements. You're not going to put 300 people in the air on some airplane that is unsure about some sort of development, where I use the software you put out there in the world, and it might have its bugs or whatnot. If it fails, it's okay, right? So in short, learning from those that have been there and understanding why, and being open-minded and positive, again, kind of back to the FAA conversation of it might be slow moving, and it might be slow moving for a reason, because again, safety. So aligning yourself with engineers that are smart, sharp, that understand the background, that also don't just give you an answer, but also can understand and explain why. Sometimes there was, maybe an event, an accident that forced this new product to have the requirements that it does. Maybe there's a history of failures with, a certain valve or safety product on the airplane. And so understanding that background will help and drive innovation going forward, because you still have to meet those 80s, you still have to meet those safety requirements, you still have to meet those regs, and those are requirements that you have to meet, and you can't be nimble outside of them, you have to be nimble within them.